It takes a lot to realize that when you begin your spiritual journey, you should not let anybody, especially a group of weirdos and clowns, block or stop your ascension or ability to connect with the divine. Groups like this should not exist. That we agree. No one should be so obsessed with an individual that they somehow utilize their resources and titles to have a whole army of weirdos and sellouts stalk them and stand around like a group of retards and idiots waiting to jump from behind bushes and trees and watching them from behind bushes and trees all day, every day. And, as soon as they start recording or praying or meditating, they start setting up, chairs behind them, playing music or, pulling out the grill. Groups like this should not exist. Nobody should be stalked on a daily basis and harassed and attempted to be blocked from their ascension and connecting with the divine. Nobody should be as foolish and idiotic enough to interfere with the sanctity and solitude with prayer and meditation. Everyone should understand how much of a violation that is for themselves. Not because they think it's an adventure and that they're doing damage or hurting the person that is, trying to maintain their peace and boundaries, but for the idiots that participate in violating one's personal space and boundaries as well as energetic boundaries and interfering with the sanctity and solitude of their prayer and meditation. Everyone should understand. Maybe, after 2020 and the pandemic, which people have said theorized that everyone lost their mind and the world kind of went mad and crazy and everything changed after that. Maybe something switched or happened in the psyche of people that caused them to flip a switch, unbeknown that the whole world could shut down simultaneously, and whatever trauma that caused for people to lose businesses and careers and have to remain stuck in a house or experience fighting over paper towels and toilet tissue and water. Maybe something happened. Maybe timeline switch. Maybe the Mandela effect is a real thing. Maybe some of you truly remember that Sinbad had a movie and it wasn't just an advertised commercial where he put on a genie suit. Maybe some of you truly remember watching an entire film that had Sinbad in it. Maybe some of you remember Mandela had expired or transitioned in the 80s and then somehow came back and transitioned again in the late 90s or early 2000s. Maybe some of you remember President Carter transitioning many years ago and then all of a sudden transitioning again last year. Maybe some of you remember these things, these events. Maybe some of you understand that, the Hadron Collider and the fact that they recreated the Big Bang in a laboratory in a tomb, and that opened up portals and allowed demonic energies and entities to come through. Maybe you understand that, timelines have been switching and changing and individuals have been, becoming unhinged and becoming possessed and obsessed. Maybe you remember the movies with, people receiving exorcist and having to have a demon exorcised out of them. Maybe some of you are beginning to understand that religion is not telling you the whole truth, because if advanced supreme beings or advanced life exist on other planets and in other star systems and on other moons, then how does religion actually fit into the whole overall picture of believing in something versus the advanced science and biology and life forms that far supersede our limited perceptions on religious beliefs? And it goes beyond blaming everything on the devil. Everything that a religious mind doesn't understand, it automatically becomes the devil's fault. That's the devil. Aliens exist. Oh, those are devils. Those are just demons. Not advanced life that was here before you, that have advanced science and technology. Not they actually shared their DNA to speed up your existence, but everything you don't understand is automatically the devil, a demon, because that's what I spoke of in a previous video as Supreme Being and Master Teacher spoke of many years ago. Religion breeds ignorance. And so we chalk everything up that we don't understand and can't explain based on our limited perceptions, refusal to have an open mind and expand our thinking into everything must be the devil, black and white. Meanwhile, various establishments and departments and governments who have discovered long lost truths and artifacts and temples and volumes of pages that were either destroyed or copied and confiscated know that religion was given to the masses in order to control the population, to keep them docile and in line with the propaganda, so that these general population don't get out of line and they believe in something. And those who yield the power or in search of power beyond the human mind or human belief know that there were advanced life forms that existed long before we did, and that they left behind blueprints that were supposed to be discovered and utilized by their offspring and children, but got covered up. And hence a cover story, weapons of mass destruction as the cover story, the guise, when in actuality it's a Stargate and or a large museum of ancient tablets and artifacts, statues of half bull, half man, or tall reptiles, reptilians from different star systems, confirmed by that of the Dogon tribe of Mali, who an advanced race crashed down as they were being chased by reptilian species. And they were taught advanced star systems that technology had not existed yet in order to track and trace and confirm, but yet they knew about it by way of these beings who crashed down and taught them advanced knowledge of star systems and culture that they adopted that no one else knew. It's okay for us to admit we were wrong and that we were limited in our perceptions and our belief. It's okay for us to say, we were limited on what we learned based on what we had and based on us being controlled. And it's okay to understand that there is much truth within what we were given, yet it's okay for us to admit that much of it was withheld and purposely taken out of context and mistranslated intentionally. It's okay for us, by way of our intelligence and common sense, to admit that they're not going to give you all the truth and facts that's going to help you ascend, because they want to keep you stuck, be it health-wise, be it academic, cultural, right, economic. It's okay for us to incorporate all of this and put it all together, put the pieces together, and understand that we were limited, and understand that ancient cultures was far more advanced than we were, or we are. But we are beginning to learn, for those of us who have an open mind. And it's okay, at the end of the day, for us to adopt any title, religious belief, or ideology that allows us to be the better versions of ourselves, as long as it makes you a better person, respectable person, and treats others with dignity and respect. It makes you a better person. It's okay for you to accept and adopt any title that you choose to. But groups like this should not exist. These clowns and cowards and sellouts and stalkers that invade your privacy, your personal space and boundaries, these devils and clowns should not exist. And this is why it's ever more the reason for us as Soul Tribe to get serious about us coming together and building our own. So our future star seeds, it would be a crime for us to be cowards, stubborn, and spoiled. I only want to work by myself. Meanwhile, you got these idiots that are unhinged, that is out of line, out of alignment and out of sync with reality, following behind other idiots, obsessed idiots. All of these sellouts and clowns that's willing to be utilized to be weirdo stalkers, hiding behind trees and bushes and invading other people's personal space and boundaries, being assholes, and You all want to exist amongst these devils and dummies, these idiots, these clowns, these weak-minded individual sellouts? You want to really exist amongst this? Or do you want to give yourself a chance to build something that is beautiful, long-lasting, without these weak-minded clowns? You want to become a part of them? You want to be them by way of your refusal to come together? Nobody's saying that, you know, you're giving up your independence and your control. No, you're making a conscious choice to work together with other like-minded souls who experience what you experience, who was black sheep like you, who was abused and traumatized like you. You all have the same respect and honor for one another. You're not going to step on each other's toes. You respect each other. You have the same light and spiritual gifts with various degrees. And so we all learn from one another, and we hash out whatever differences in culture and religious beliefs. That should not be the main thing. Oh, you believe and think differently than me. We can't come together and work together. None of that matters. When different catastrophic events take place, when 9/11 took place, do you think anybody was standing around vetting or, scouting and contemplating? Let me see. Do you have a different religious opinion than I do? Because if so, I don't want your help. Or do you think in moments of, catastrophe, emergency, that none of that stuff matters? It goes out the window. Do you think that a Caucasian hand refused the help of a brown skin or dark skin arm or hand when it was coming from out of the ashes? Do you think that people sat there and laid there when these catastrophes took place and worried about somebody's religious beliefs and cultural differences and backgrounds? So the more we remove these excuses and disabilities, the more we can accomplish and create and build. Who want to live in a community where everybody is fake and phony and Truman Show actors, taking a page out of the Truman Show, and they feel good about this too? They feel proud, participating like idiots and clowns. Who want to be a part of that stupid shit? I'm going through it. I've been going through it for the past 3 years, knowing that justice will ensue, that I'm being raised in degrees and guided by my spirit team and guides and angels. But who else would want to go through this? Who else will want your future star seeds and earth angels to go through this? Let these devils have each other. Let these clowns be amongst themselves. Let them experience exactly what it is they put out into the atmosphere, because their world does not have to be your reality. But if you do nothing and you just mosey along in the same neighborhoods, in the same community, with the same thinking, and you're doing nothing to come amongst your own soul tribe and soul team, then how are you going to separate yourself knowing that there's two sides? How are you going to separate yourself knowing that those of you are walking the straight and narrow, and then there are others who have no morality? They're willing to do whatever it takes to get some chump change, to have some success. And these clowns click up and they'll do whatever unhinged behavior and activity to abuse their titles and positions in society. Is that what you want to be a part of? Is that what you want to remain around? Or do you want to create and build something that's beautiful where you can, weed these weirdos